viewers, I would like to tell you that this is our last Dungeons & Dragons game to look at, but there's one more after this one. Spoiler alert. This is Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, Dragons of Flame, from 8 Liar Double and Pony Canyon. It's pronounced 8 Liar. Released in 1992. Also available on the ZX Spectrum, the Amiga, the Amstrad CPC, the Atari ST, the Commodore 64, DOS, and this little version here we're looking at on the NES. Excuse me. This is a direct sequel to Heroes of the Lance. You'll remember that one where I spent like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to go through the door? Yeah, that one. Like Heroes of the Lance, this is kind of arcade-oriented with few RPG elements, but quite a bit different gameplay overall. The style of the game, according to this, is very much like its predecessor, horizontal scrolling fighting, controlling one character at a time, except it doesn't mention the top-down exploration-y kind of bits and the random battle kind of bits. So it's kind of got a Zelda 2 thing going on there. It is based on the second Dragonlance campaign module, Dragons of Flame, and the second half of the first Dragonlance novel, Dragons of Autumn Twilight. The plot is a faithful representation of the books it is based on. Dragons of Flame was adapted from the Dragons of Flame printed adventure module. The game Shadow Sorcerer is a sequel to this game's storyline, but has quite different gameplay. The Famicom version, the only AD&D Famicom game not really released on the NES, was the first to be translated by the fan translation group DVD Translations. And according to GameSpy, while the number of characters was increased to 10, the gameplay remained the same, moderately competent, hack-and-slash side-scrolling action, marking this as a less-than-stellar entry on SSI's resume. SSI being the publisher, Strategic Simulations, Inc. This actually has the developer listed as US Gold. I believe there's actually a Dragons of Flame game, and then there's an Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, Dragons of Flame. They're both technically the same game, but there's differences in the ports. This one, oddly enough, was kind of fun to play. The overhead sequence is kind of dull and boring, but the battles are often enough to kind of make it a little more interesting. Being able to select your characters for the battles is kind of nice. When you're not in the heat of battle, spellcasting is still a bit goofy, menu system's still a bit weird. But overall, between Heroes of the Lance and this game I think is much, much better. If you're going to play an old Dungeons & Dragons game, I would stick to this one.